one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mrs. Gordon. Ms. Hutsky.
Present.
Mr. Semenek.
Yes.
Mr. Simon. Mrs. Hill. Mr. Morrow. Mayor Knox.
Present.
Chief Mercier.
Here.
Mr. Fry. Attorney Steph.
Here.
Citizens report.
Greg,
Do you want to go first?
If you don't mind.
Okay.
Thank you, I won't take too long. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Greg Douglas. I'm a lawyer for the Rochester Area Joint Sewer Authority. I'm here tonight in connection with the rebuilding of the wastewater treatment plant and the force main and the street lift station, all those things. I'll give you a little bit of a status report. We opened bids back in May, and bids came in significantly higher than we expected. So we did two things. We went back and we rebid all the contracts and opened them in September, and they came down from 52 million to 48 million. So we saved about $4 million in the rebid. The other thing we did was we went back to Penvest and we asked them if they would fund the entire project, all right, and with a 30-year 1% loan. Now, we do have about $1.5 million Penvest grants. But the rest of it, Penvest agreed to fund the rest of the whole thing for 30 years at 1%. So that should be enough that we don't have to raise rates for the project. The reason I'm here tonight is that, as you know, there's a service agreement among all the members of the authority to provide the sanitary sewer service. It was updated in 2009, but it expires in 2024. And Penvest is requiring that we extend the service agreement to cover the life of the Penvest loan. So what I have tonight, first of all, for your edification is a copy of the existing service agreement. I've made a very simple amendment which simply changes the termination date. But if you need some extra reading, this is the existing service agreement. Turn to page 6, I believe it is. You will see the bottom paragraph. Says that our existing service agreement terminates December 31st, 2024. I have an amendment which simply changes that date to January 30, 2050, which is the maturity date for our Penvest loan. I attached copies of the Penvest funding offers that we have, so you can see what the terms of the loan are to this amendment. Our closing with Penvest is scheduled for January. So we could go another month on this, but if you're inclined to approve this tonight, why, it would help us move things along. The amendment says that all the other terms of the service agreement remain in full force and effect. And the only thing this does is extend the termination date. Good, how are you? I have to go around and get all the members to approve this, and you're my first stop.
Do you want us to try to approve this tonight, or do we have
Well,
time to look at it?
I mean, he's here to answer any questions you may have. I mean, I'm familiar with this situation. I understand what they're requesting. There are no changes to the agreement. They're just extending it because Penvest requires that the agreement be in place for the life of the loan. So I believe what would be helpful to Joint Sewer Authority would be if you had a motion to authorize the appropriate borough officials to sign the amendment to the service agreement.
Mr. Sepp is correct. December would be our drop dead time when we needed this, but it is fairly simple. Be glad to answer any questions. That's why I wanted to give you a little bit of the status report on what the project is.
And he did send it to me today, and I read it.
I see no problem with pushing on with it. I do agree with it.
I agree.
Yeah.
Does someone want to make the?
I'll make the motion, we accept.
I'll second it.
Excuse me, can you do this in form of a resolution?
Oh.
Just a matter of wording.
Sure. All right. Do you need a written resolution?
I'll
from
get
me,
one over
which
to you,
I-
Paul. The secretary can sign it after the later.
Yeah, okay. So we have a motion to authorize the appropriate officials to sign the amendment to the service agreement and also execute the written resolution to be provided, which would authorize this action.
That's correct.
I made the motion.
Yeah.
I'll still hold my motion.
And I'll still second it.
Yeah, I'll do roll call.
And a roll call vote.
Kathy?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Kendra?
Yes.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'll get a resolution to you, Paul.
Okay, thank you.
Paul, should we sign this now without the resolution?
Oh, yeah, yes, you can.
Can Kathy sign as vice president?
Yes. You can,
Sorry.
do you need more than one?
I think one will be fine.
Does
Well,
anybody else need to
I mean,
sign?
I
might
sign.
be a good idea to have a couple.
Yeah.
When it's fully signed, I will get a signed copy for all the
all
members.
at different times, so as you'll see the signature pages, there's,
One. We can do another one.
and
I should change.
I just put vice
you
in front
put
of president.
vice.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
All right. Who's next?
I'm Richard Fair, I'm 815 10th Street. Coming down to find out if there was any progress being made with the open ditch. Is that what's going to stay that way? Are they going to put a pipe in the ground? Is there any movement on that at all? It is a hazard. I mean, they got yellow caution tape around it, but if somebody would go into that, it could be a problem. Secondly, I've been maintaining that road. There's still a flooding problem because the top of the road needs a berm to guide the water into the drain. It's still running down the street. All the gravel's getting washed out. There's about a 8-inch deep by 10-inch wide rut, which the mailman got his truck stuck in there and had to get pulled out. So that's a liability right there.
Somebody told me that's coming from the downspouts on the house that's next to you,
There is no downspouts. They don't have any gutters on that house at all.
or the roof. I don't know.
All I know is it runs down the road. But like I said, if they had put some kind of a curb at the top, like this in front of most of the streets to guide the water so it just doesn't run down that road, I'm unable to shovel the gravel anymore. I got a dislocated shoulder from an accident. So what it is the way it's gonna stay until, and there's no sense in filling it until we do something at the top, because it's just gonna wash out. What you did last time was great, but it didn't last because the problem's still there. Somebody's gonna trip in there. I was trick-or-treaters, I was worried about it, and the garbage man comes down there in the dark. If you don't see that ditch there, you're gonna break your ankle. Somebody's gonna get hurt, or they're gonna blow a tire out. So I just hope something could be done starting at the top before we do anything down below, because whatever you do down below is not gonna work until the problem at the top is addressed. That's all I'm asking. I'm not gonna shovel it anymore. It'll continue to get as wide as, I got a 4-wheel drive truck, I can get up and out of there, but somebody else is gonna get hurt.
maybe Sam could go up and look and, like, when, especially when it's raining, and just see.
Well, the other thing is, there
Somebody
is
could do that.
runoff that comes down where that concrete pad, and that does go into the road. What I would like to do on my own, I'll pay for it myself, is put a pipe across the road into that ditch that's already existing. That would divert the water. The top half would get covered by the berm at the top. The bottom, where it comes down out of the yard and runs into the street, I could divert it with a pipe just under the surface into that ditch. I'll do that myself. I'm not asking for that.
Are you talking about the
I
road
think-
that you are maintaining, and you're saying you're maintaining?
Yeah, I've just been returning the gravel because I didn't want somebody to get hurt, but I can't do it anymore. I'm not allowed to lift anything. It's bad.
You know, as far as that, I mean, to council, we went through that before where, you know, it's our opinion that that's an unopened street, that it's not the borough street any longer. So if he wants to do that, I mean, I don't see any reason that he couldn't do that.
Oh, like to fix the runoff.
I'll do the pipe at the bottom, but the top should be done by the borough. That's on Lake
Out on the
Hawk.
street.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, on
Lake
Lake Hawk, I agree that, you know, if there's any issues up there, that, yeah, that is the borough right of way, that we, you know, they don't have to address that.
Well, I can get with somebody, a contractor, and get some gravel brought in there and get that taken care of. Like I said, I'm not gonna waste the time and the money to do it until what gets done up above. I would appreciate that. I'll take care of the road, but they still said they'll plow it in the wintertime. Joyce agreed
And
with
that's,
that.
you know,
Okay.
That ditch up where he is needs addressed, that needs filled all back in. I mean, it's deep. It's gotta be what?
What, the ditch they dug?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's the only thing that's saving the water. Something has to be diverted down that way. They have to either put a pipe back in the ground. I mean, I don't care about the ditch being there. It doesn't bother me. I think personally, it is actually in the road still, because there's a 40-foot right-of-way there, and I'm sure that right-of-way goes to the other side of those trees.
Oh, I thought you meant you wanted the ditch filled.
No, I don't care about that.
Okay,
That's
okay.
not on my property, so
I think he
that
just
don't bother
wants
me.
the water not to run.
Yeah.
That's the only way the water's
I got you.
going, that drain at the top goes into that ditch you guys dug. So something has to stay there. It has to, has to be somewhere to divert the water.
That's what I'm wondering, maybe we could do something with cold patch if
Yeah.
it's out on our road.
yeah, I think I know
For
what he's
now.
talking about. You're talking about up at the catch basin,
Like-
right?
Yeah, because
Passing
when the
by.
water comes down Lake Hawk, it comes down the bend, that water's getting caught, pretty much. But anything else that runs this way just comes right down the road. So if there was a curb, when it crossed, that would take the water into that drain, then it would go into that ditch. I wouldn't have a problem. Now down below, that's gonna be my problem, because I don't know where all that water's coming from. It seems like ever since McElwain put that addition on, they used to have a cistern in that yard where all their Whitterboard's gutters went into a holding tank in the driveway. When they got the permit to build that house, the code officer said, you have to fill that. So there's nowhere for the water to go but downhill, and unfortunately, I'm downhill. I'll address it with McElwain and get him to help me with that, because it's part of their problem, basically. But again, at the top of the road, I would hope that, something can be done up there.
Can we send Sam up to take a
Yeah, I
look
mean,
at it?
especially when it rains, I mean.
And I even called the garbage company. I will take my garbage cans to the top of the road so that their trucks don't bust it all up. Because they'll just, if you put blacktop up there, it's just gonna get smashed apart.
Yeah.
I'll haul my garbage can to the top of the road to keep big trucks from coming down there.
And we'll have to make sure.
It's supposed to
whatever
rain
we do,
next
we
couple
can
days.
do.
Let's send Sam up there to check it.
Oh, yeah, you can look at it if it's raining, we'll see it. All right, thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
I want to get something next.
Hey, I talked to this gentleman over yesterday at election, okay, and he did state about that road. I know a little bit about it, but I did talk to John Barrett, Borough manager. There's a lot of millings down there. So you guys can come over, send Sam over with a truck, we'll load them, take 3 or 4 loads up there, ain't gonna cost you nothing. Put down there, so at least get the holes filled in so you can
So the mail-
address the top for them, and then go put some more down. And I just told him, I said, we're doing some paving down here, hopefully if it gets a little better here, but I can just run a roller up there and roll them. to keep them down. I mean, the problem he's had has been going on for years. We know about that problem. We fixed that one time up at Lake Hawk when I was on council. And the problem is when the garbage trucks went down here, all they did is in the summertime was crush that curb down. That wedge curb, it just kept crushing down, and pretty soon there was nothing ever left to it. So, and there hasn't been no streets done, so you haven't had no curb to put back up here. But anyways, he said if whatever you wanted, you could send them down. They'll load you, Mike will load you.
Some of the millings on it.
Yeah, and milling. Put them down there and take your machine up and spread them. At least it'll keep from somebody breaking their ankle or something like that, and until you get his problem taken care of. But I just wanted to say that. The other one, the fire department. Everybody has to get tired of hearing about this fire department. Mr. Duffy went over and put brand new locks on all the doors to secure the doors. So they got all brand new locks. We ordered a dumpster. We held off getting it 2 weeks ago because of the fact was we went over there and bagged up some of the garbage and trash around back, and we're getting ready to go ahead and order it. We just wanted to check with our finances to make sure, because we have a loan we're going to pay back. We are going to pay the loan back, and then we want to make sure we have the money to take care of that. We took some bids on fixing the siding and stuff. They come back phenomenal. They were beyond. I mean, that type of work does not cost that kind of money, but everybody wanted too much money, so I don't know what we're going to do about that, but we'll get it taken care of. But for everybody to complain about that place, it's going to take a little bit of time. We're going to clean it up, get it all fixed up, and hopefully it'll look better, within the next month anyways. Okay? And the only other thing I got is, you're taking that Borough truck down to a place that is, I'm telling you, it does not cost $1,500 to do what they did.
Who's working on our truck right now?
Three Rivers, wasn't it?
Well, I'm telling you, every time you take it down there, you guys get this bill, and I have a truck identical to that truck. I know I do my own work on my trucks, but I'm telling you, you got to find somebody else. That does not cost that kind of money. So, we cut the catalytic converter out. I don't want to hear, emissions. That is not it. You can buy a kit. They wouldn't sell the kit to take that out if you weren't allowed to have it.
Right.
So we bought 3 of them for 3 of our trucks. So I'm just asking council, you got to watch the money. If you're always complaining about money, well, there's one thing. That truck is eating you alive in money, and I'm telling you, you're taking it to the wrong place. That's my opinion about it.
Where do you take yours?
I do my own. Fleet over there in Bridgewater. I mean, my son runs Cherry's Auto, and he's checked. He said they do diesels over there. Now, I don't know what they charge, but I'm sure they don't charge.
We should probably maybe.
I mean, all I'm asking you to do is check before you take that truck. I mean, the truck doesn't have that many miles on it to do all that.
Right.
It's garage kept. So, and our trucks, we beat to death and don't put that kind of money in them. So, that was the only complaints I had about the fire department. So I just wanted to let you know.
Drummy,
Yeah.
you mentioned to me you had a guy in Aliquippa.
Yeah, we had a guy in Aliquippa. It's far out there, but I mean, I'll tell you what, he's really good.
Can you provide me his contact
Yeah,
information?
I'll get his name in that.
Yeah.
The only problem with him is, he is so busy, okay? I mean, we took one of our trucks here years ago, okay? He treated us real good, but it just took so long. But he's good at what he does.
We took it one place and it was even more money than.
Yeah.
You talked about that guy down at Bridgewater. When we thought there was some turbo going bad in it, he told me or the head gasket. I mean, he said he don't do head gaskets on them. You know what I mean? So I did check with that guy down there, and he said he was 2 or 3 weeks out anyhow.
Yeah, they get busy down here, but I mean.
That guy at 3 Rivers, he told me he could do it right away, and he was still 2 weeks out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It was Herzog's that was really, they were.
Herzog's is up there too, but I mean, he's busy too. I mean,
he don't want to work
he's
on
good.
that truck. He wants the bigger trucks. He don't want to work on them. I checked with him too.
I
Yeah,
just
they're just-
find it's hard to find somebody that
Yeah,
can do
it's,
that kind of work.
that guy had an Aliquippa, I'm telling you, he was a decent cost. And that was right after we bought the one truck, we had to have the heads done. And he did it up there, and, you know, we had some money into it, but nowhere near what everybody else would even want.
Yeah,
So,
give him a call.
Yeah, give me
Yeah.
the info and we'll have him, his information.
all right,
Thank you.
that's all I have.
Did you have anything on the work down there on Fifth Street or?
Well, the only thing, we ran into 2 gas lines. The gas company tested one today, they left, now they gotta come back and test the other one.
Okay,
So, they're both sitting on the deck, Jeff. Tomorrow, we're gonna go ahead, cut the one out, they gave us permission to cut the one out, but the other one, they're gonna, I forget what, there was a gas smell down there. They're gonna do some kind of pressure test, I guess, or something, I guess, and if it's okay, they're gonna cut, they don't cut it out, we're gonna have to cut it out.
okay,
So, that's the only thing I got to there.
okay.
Then I have to call Jeff, take a look at it once we're down to the deck. But they're sitting on the deck on the new one. So we won't be taking that section out, but the roadway will fix a little bit.
Bless you.
And then, that's about it. Besides, I got some pictures of underneath that I'll send to Jeff, and he can deal with what's going on about underneath of it.
All right. Sam, anything, or your?
Well, I only need a couple of tires for the truck, that's all.
No, Sam.
I'm sorry, Joey, I need steering tires. I got prices here, if somebody wants to look at them or whatever. I went down to see your boy, he gives us the best price.
Gee, drums ain't all that bad.
Small woods don't do it at all, they don't wanna have them kind of tires, okay? The cherries come in at $1.90 a piece or less. And he has different, there's 2 different prices on 2 different tires. One's $2.50 a piece or less, that's just all on the high side. $2.50 a piece, and $1.90 a piece, okay? I tried to get a little Smallage, I couldn't get nobody up there. I called Myers Mobile Tires, he has Kelly tires, $618 a piece, mounted balance to put on.
Does Costco do big tires like that?
Pardon me?
No. Does
No.
Costco do big
No,
tires?
I know, because they have a sale going on.
I love my Costco tires.
And Myers has a cheaper tire for $486. That's 2 tires, mounted balance and everything. And Scanner tires was $268 a piece.
Okay.
It's gonna need lines up too, so, once we get tires on it.
All right.
And there was a guy from Freightliner and the Honduras Fleet Service. They dropped off some information, if you guys wanna look it over, some Joey or Simon or somebody wants to look it over. I got it here. They decked out a truck for us. Oh, maybe Joey wants to look it over too, I don't know. But-
I can't afford another one.
So it's here, if somebody wants to look at it, and the price list is here too. So.
Okay. So then, minutes from the last meeting, did everybody have a chance to look at them?
Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Bye, thanks, Richard. And are we gonna make a motion to?
Make a motion to accept them.
I'll second it. Roll call.
Kathy,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Kendra?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Communication.
communication, I guess we'll start with the mayor.
Well, I have stuff on the communication.
Okay.
First, the 2018 liquid fuel audit was conducted last week, and we are in good shape, no problems. He said everything was okay. And the other thing, we got the letter of agreement from Herman and Law concerning their audit services for next year. It's basically, it's the same thing every year, but they specified in it, they will charge us no more than $2,600. So, and this has to be signed by somebody from the borough. And so I suppose we should have a motion to, if we're gonna accept this, if we're gonna continue with them.
Yes, if you accept that proposal, we would have a motion to accept the proposal from Herman and Law.
Okay.
I'll make the motion, we accept the proposal.
I'll second.
Roll call?
Kathy?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Kendra?
Yes.
Okay. I could sign this, I think, just as management, and then ask for title. I don't know why I couldn't sign it, so,
Okay. Any other communication?
no.
All right, we're moving on to mayor and police report.
For last month, they had the police had 175 calls for service in East Rochester. There was 9 arrests and bookings,
You want it, just have blanks there.
and there was 12 citations. You have anything, Chief?
No.
I got some more anyways, since we're under mayor.
Okay.
That tree program through Matthew's office, did you get that, did I give you that information on that?
I did get a little flyer on that.
Because we want to get on that early this year. And like I said, that's a 50-50 match program. If we do the work, it's free. It don't cost us a thing. That and Mr. Wilson up on Lake Hawk, I think he lives actually, does he live in the township? It's up around the bend, up on top of Lake Hawk. He has showed interest in being our, he wanted to be a constable. He approached me.
Oh.
And he has a good background. He worked in LA. He was a PD in Los Angeles, and he wanted me to bring his name up to council because he wants to show interest in doing the job, and we do not have a constable. So, and I was supposed to bring it up last meeting, but there was too much going on.
I think if he gets one write-in for that, he can just go claim that.
But he said in between elections too, he could be appointed. And I just wanted he wanted me to bring it to you, and he's gonna think about it, and he's gonna get back with me, and I'll actually just probably see him tomorrow and tell him I brought it up. And he called me to the Borough building, we talked for a while, and he's an older gentleman, but he would like to keep doing stuff in that profession, so I told him it was a good thing. So I will talk to him. Unless you want me to get you just want him maybe come to a meeting?
You could, and then that would at least let us know that he's interested in.
Yeah, because I'd like him to meet him. He's a really nice guy. This year too, coming up for Earth Day, I got contact for you for Valvoline for their community involvement person. I'll
Okay.
send you an email and a phone number. So when that comes about, you won't even have to talk to me. You just call them direct, and they'll take care of it for you. And lastly, me and Chief talked about this, and I got this information from John Barrett. It's for LED lights to replace heads on the lamps. They're all brand new headlights. They'll replace the lamp only. And it's $109 a pole. I'll give it to you as a look at. There's an application and everything on here. And I would even be willing for the next 2 years to donate all my money if you guys would match it for headlamps. They're $109. I don't think that's a lot to light up the streets a little bit more. I was thinking about doing Lake Hawk all the way up and doing like 5th Street and Stewart. If you guys want to look at this and let me know, then I'll get a hold of Mr. Barrett, me and he'll speak about it. I think it's a good program. It says here LED municipal overhead street lighting conversion pilot program.
I thought they were coming this way and doing.
On 65, that's the state doing it.
I don't know what they do for the town.
They don't. We do our own polls. So like I said, I will take my mayor's money and I'll put it out there for the next 2 years if the borough would match it. And I don't think $109 a head's a lot of money to light up the streets a little bit more, make it a little bit safer for people, because the communities, they're concerned because, I mean, they're paying taxes and they're not even seeing nothing done in the borough. So maybe we put this in there, show them we care a little bit. Yeah, and plus it's a big savings on electric. It'll help the borough out on cost too, so I'd appreciate it if you guys look at this.
I would like to look at it, because our electric bills are,
It's a good program.
It's a very,
It is good.
And we do it over in the borough, so
yeah.
it's good.
Those lights are nice. They're
Do we
very
need to
bright.
have a motion?
Well, we
What
could
do you
look
think?
at it, maybe
you can look at it and
discuss
discuss it at the next meeting.
Yeah.
One thing, what was the constable's name?
Bruce Wilson.
I'll make
Bruce
that.
Wilson.
And then when everybody's.
If you go up by McElwain's, turn the corner, he's the second house, and he has the big LSU
Yeah.
parties.
I just couldn't remember.
He's a nice guy. We talked for a while, and I told him we used to have a constable, and he said he was very interested, so
Have them come to a meeting.
I will.
Anything else?
I can bring it up for under streets and sewers.
Okay, well, that's next.
Okay.
Do you want to start there then?
Yeah, the gazebo down there, the light pole.
That's on my list
We
too.
need to really talk about that because they were talking about wiring the old one and doing this and that. We just need to put something up on the pole and put it on the flag.
That's what,
I thought there
because
was.
you do that, Jeremy?
Yeah, I was gonna do it until I don't wanna say.
They were talking about
There's some arguments with somebody.
No, I didn't, I wasn't aware of that.
But I was gonna change all electric.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
We're talking about where the night light is for
Yeah.
the gazebo. Just put it right there and put it up. Okay.
Well, this is for the flagpole too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're
we
talking
were
about for the
thinking right off.
flagpole.
I purchased a conduit,
It's
Sam got it down the garage, and then I got some arguments.
Okay.
My mom got me in trouble.
I understand.
That, and I talked to the people. Jeremy, who installed that pole? Did you install it?
Yeah, we had it built.
I talked to Unique, the people that I guess gave you the pole to put up, or you bought it. Their labels on the bottom that says Unique Services, and I called him. They serviced the pole. I'm sorry.
Which pole?
The flagpole.
They service.
That's what he told me.
Huh.
Not our flagpole.
No.
That flagpole I built over at the mill world.
Okay. Well, there's a sticker on the bottom that says Unique Services. It's out of Pittsburgh.
Well, you know what happened, maybe, because the mill got me the pipe.
Okay.
And then we had it welded over there, fixed up, and then we had a company come and raise it for us, because we couldn't raise that big thing.
Maybe that's who it was.
I don't think Bachman's the one that brought their crane over to raise it. I don't know, there's been no, we didn't professionally buy that pole, we built the pole, that's where I worked, so.
Well, that pole was it was looking pretty bad. We was thinking about getting it painted.
Yeah,
But this, and then you need a pretty high truck to paint that.
well, they brought the borough, brought the ladder.
Oh, really? Because this guy here, they were gonna come in and paint the pole.
Mhm.
They were gonna donate an LED light and to light it up and everything for, I think it was like around $425 or something. They were gonna do it, and I brought it to the council's attention, and it just like we just stopped because we were gonna wait for the meeting.
There
I
might
brought
have been
that.
some arguing in that arena too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna put the electric up there for the gazebo, Christmas lights, and for the pole and that. Like I said, I purchased the conduit, our company did. We dropped it off down there, but then after that, everything like fizzled out. We started down at the playground too, or the ball field, and we were gonna take some trees down before I finished the fence. We ended up getting in a battle over that too. I don't know.
Sorry.
I mean, you know, we were still willing to fix it up for you. That's no problem. It's a shame because we put like 90 grand in that place. I mean, they let the ceiling fall in, you know, they let the freeze up, the toilets froze. I mean, I don't care if he likes me or don't, but, you know, you put something out nice for the kids, you know, and if people want to use it. We used to have some church groups use it, okay? We didn't charge them. You know, we cut the grass. The borough bought the zero turn for the borough man to cut the grass down. All they had to do was take care of the building, you know? That's all they had to do. Come over, pick the key up. When you're done with it, make sure the bathrooms are clean, make sure that the concession stand was locked up and everything, and then the borough man would go over and make sure the gates were shut, you know, stuff like that. Meanwhile, that place is horrible. I mean, everything. I mean, I just can't believe how it went downhill.
And Sam's actually got it looking a lot better just by.
I haven't been over there for a while. I tore the old fence out. We fixed some of the poles down there. There was a couple we had to replace. The fencing, Allegheny fence, we were going to go ahead and purchase a fence there. We had to get some other pools. I got a list, you know. But,
We'll get it. It's kind of going into winter now, so.
yeah. But I also set up, you know, in the upper parking lot. Somebody took that fence down in the upper parking lot. Somebody backs up, they'll go right over it. That's gotta be 40 feet down there, 35, 40 feet down off that hillside. Somebody back up and don't see it, they're going over. Or if a kid runs, doesn't know it, they'll run right over, they'll go right down that hillside.
So Sam did get some prices and talked to some people about that lake pool too. Do you want to explain that? Yeah. But maybe we should look at, yeah.
We're not going to.
But he kind of got into a little bit of a mess too.
You have to put a, certain break blocks in and read it. I said about taking and putting water on the ground, you know. He said he don't do any excavation. He would put the meter blocks in, you know. If we want to put the water on the ground, we have to do it. So, and then he would hook it up with that bouquet label to it. The water wash, you know, right down to the meter and hook the service blocks. You know, he said, no, do it, you can't want to do that. Whatever.
I was gonna take it out of the Borough and bring it over.
That's
and
what
hook it
I,
up.
that's, yeah.
It's totally up to you guys. I don't care. I don't mind doing it, like I said. I just wasn't gonna deal with what I had to deal with.
Understand. Yeah, so maybe we'll discuss that again.
Yeah, let me know.
Revisit. So anything else on streets, I guess?
Other than what Sam found out as far as the whites, they know have been.
Oh, yeah, they found I don't remember what the name of it. Street up off of
Spruce.
Spruce, yeah, Spruce. There's a little blue house that's on the left-hand side, as you go up to 65. The guy sold that house the other day, and I went up to a smoking dye test of it. And the woman said, well, we just do the downspouts and then you go away. I said, no, we got to do the sewer line too. The door has to be snaked out. I said, front door. So we run an electric snake in there, and man, we pulled that snake back out, the electric got open. The weights he had on that snake, it took him like 45 minutes to get it cleaned out of there. And then the next day, I got all kind of weights on the lift station on my rod catcher. So apparently he got it opened up, you know.
That's what's causing it.
So, but he was cussing and carrying on. He said, I tell these people these ain't flushable. They say they're flushable. They flush them down the toilet. He says it's ridiculous. So, but I was told that only all the houses on Oak Street was the only one that runs to the lift station. But apparently that one runs there too. That one's going to be there too. And now I'm wondering about that one with the white house that has a garage on the corner there.
Yeah,
I don't know if that one runs down over there.
Right across from the Pace.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
go out in the backyard.
Which is old.
Go see if they got a vent pipe coming out of the ground. If they got a vent pipe, they're down in there. 'Cause them chores that's the ones were replaced.
Yeah, well, she has cameras in there. I don't want to go on property.
Well, I'm saying you get a hold of them. You get a hold of them and ask them if you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
check
yeah.
it, that's all.
She has cameras over there. If you want.
If you ask her permission, she'll let you on her.
Okay.
They're nice people.
Yeah, so there was a clean out on the back side of that house back there, that little blue house down there. That's how we, you know, I said, you gotta clean this up. I said, we can't do a dye test until we get this opened up. But he went and got a snake and he got it opened up and everything. Yeah. So as of today, I got maybe one or two more, you know, since we did that smoke and dye test last week, so.
Hey Sam,
Okay,
thanks for being back. I didn't want to have to do that anymore.
2 more things on streets, and we just kind of got to keep moving. The tires, should we make a motion, because you're going to need winter tires, to go ahead and let Sam get
Right.
tires.
And Cherry's had the best deal.
What's that?
Tires.
Tires? Oh, yeah, I guess JT would give us the best deal on the tires. So.
Also, while it's there, Cherry's does alignment, might as well have it
Yeah.
all done at once.
Right. So should we make a motion to do that, or
I'll make the motion. Tires
Okay.
are alignment.
roll call? Yes.
Look, Could he line that up or no?
I don't know.
Yes.
I don't, you know, that big of a truck, I don't know if he can line. If they got a new machine, he might be able to, but I just go to Goodyear up there at Northern Lights. They
Okay,
do a good job and
all right.
it ain't that, you know, they never overcharge me.
I know when I had my truck, I used to go to Georgetown with Brighton, and he was pretty good, but I think he's dead now.
And then Sam, there's this pipe into the catch.
Let's do roll call for this one.
Okay, roll call.
Kathy,
Yes,
Joe,
Yes.
Kendra.
that's
Yes.
for the tires. And then the pipe into the catch basin on Fourth, you wanted to?
Oh, yeah,
discuss?
you told, when, 4th Street, we don't want to bend that whole.
Oh,
catch
yeah,
basin.
you know what, when it rains, that
That-
it's flooded out 4th Street. I mean, it just,
That
Linton,
pipe-
it just, right around the corner there, it just goes way up, and I know what's gonna happen before it even happens. It's gonna
Is
start
it
going over the hill.
a
And
lot?
when it starts washing that hill out, you're gonna have one of them people down at the bottom, they're gonna be screaming. And I know that pipe goes down over hill, and I think somebody, I don't know, somebody's blocked that pipe, cause there was like it's just like a little cutout down there that took the water from that, and I know that catch basin definitely runs down over the hill.
Wait a second, Jeremy, is the drain that you're speaking of interfered with, I can't think of his name, the guy who, right there on 5th Street, who was doing construction?
Cybert.
Cybert.
On his wall,
Yes.
oh,
Is that the same drain
that
pipe?
must be the one that goes down, yeah, it goes down in there.
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
wondering if that's.
I don't know
tied
whether
in.
he blocked it, but you're gonna have to do something with that because that's the lowest part of the whole street. Where we put the storm sewers in going down Linton, Jeff, that's a lot lower than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You couldn't even
because-
hook that when they're to there, I don't think, 'cause I don't know if we're deep enough.
So what can we do to unblock it?
Well, that whole pipe's plugged up. It goes under the road. I dug it out 3 or 4 times, and I can't get it on, there's no pipe, what drains down over here, what somebody's talking about, it's plugged. Goes underneath the road, it's completely blocked. So it needs blowed out somehow, I don't know.
How about, like,
Then he put that wall up too, you're gonna have to watch that, end up flooding his wall, cause I don't know.
what I'm asking is, did he create the problem?
Well, I don't know, Joe.
Yeah.
I don't know. You'll have to find all that out.
Yeah.
But I do know that drain down there, and when it rains hard, that
Yeah.
whole place floods back in there, and it's running over the hill of the house below on Spruce. And I know what's
Yes.
gonna happen.
Remember the gentleman that came to the council meeting that
Yes.
has the rental house next door?
Yes.
The water from Mr. Cybert was running over into his neighbor's yard when
Right.
it rained.
Because he took out
Because he took out a catch,
yeah, like a ditch thing.
the catch basin.
So what could we have
Well,
the
that-
fire
see-
department blow it out?
No, that's not gonna work. We'd have to have somebody like Robertson Pipe Cleaning come in. Jeff, go down and look at it and see,
Yeah, I can go look at it.
okay, if it's
'Cause
our
maybe
problem,
it's
do we,
simple.
if it's our problem, we have to pay somebody to have it fixed. If somebody else created it,
Well, we're gonna have to take whatever they did, have them
yeah.
change it.
Yeah. And then are we looking at doing grants for next year to get some of these roads paved? Or somebody said, Jeff, you were looking into, because we need to fix the problem with our drainage system.
Yeah, that's, I mean,
first.
that was gonna be on my report, but yeah.
I'll wait till we get to it
Okay.
then. All right. Building permits and code. So, did everybody have a chance to review all that?
Mhm.
Okay. Financial and budget, did everybody have a chance to look at that?
I'll read that for you. The tax collection for the month of October was $4,662.96. Her commission was $233.15. We collected $4,465.11 from the sewer authority for the month of October. That's both residential and commercial. Total bills paid for the month, $28,877.66. Payroll, $4,308.76. That's October 3rd till November 5th. Penvest payment was $1,604.54 for the November payment.
And could we make a motion to?
I'll make the motion. Okay.
I'll second it.
And then we'll do roll call.
Kathy?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Kendra?
Yes.
Okay.
Fire department, Joe, anything?
Yes, I know we've had at least 5 calls in the borough for the past month. Also, the Saturday before Christmas will be Santa. And they are trying to work with the school to find out how many kids are in the borough. But the school's kind of like, I don't know what you call that. Not HEPA law. The law where you're not allowed to give out information.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of tough. So does anybody have an idea of how we could get, right?
Last I
How many?
heard, Joyce said that there were like 35 kids to 40 kids in the
Okay.
town.
I
So if that
guesstimated.
helps you.
I guesstimated and said 50, so that.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So they're gonna be coming around?
Yeah, they'll be coming around this Saturday before Christmas.
Maybe we could put that on the webpage.
Yeah, what ages?
Oh, boy. I don't honestly remember.
But I can get that on the website, that Santa will be in the borough
Yeah.
Saturday before
Yeah.
Christmas. Okay,
I'll check with you and Jess, I'll get you the ages.
okay.
That's all I have.
Solicitor?
And well, I had a couple things. I did want to bring up that we've talked about the street opening ordinance. I did complete a draft of the ordinance, and I sent it over to the engineer because I wanted him to review it, and it would need, I believe, we agreed he would do would be new drawings for that, because Jeff did the drawings years ago for the restoration of the pavement back when we did the original ordinance, and I wanted him to look at what changes were made, and sometimes the standards have changed in the industry as to what those should be. So I'll be in communication with Jeff. I have been. He's going to get drawings together. If anyone wants to look at the draft, ignore the drawings because they're old, but I've changed some of the language here. But once we get that all together, we'll be ready to go with that, and we'll do a resolution along with it for the permit fees, and I'll coordinate that with Jeff as well. So I had brought a couple copies of this draft if anyone wants to take a look at it. But again, it's subject to change after I receive his comments and new drawings.
Thank you for doing that. That was long overdue for tonight.
The only other thing was, and I didn't know if you were going to hit on it in the finance and budget, but where we are, this is the meeting that you would need to get your direction on where you want to go with your budget, because at the next meeting, our next meeting is December, and that would be when we would have the tax ordinance, advertised, and the budget being adopted, and that. So actually, at this meeting, I know Janice had sent over to me a couple different versions of a proposed budget, and at 2 different tax rates. And so I don't want to jump ahead or anything, but the reason I'm bringing it up now is at this meeting, I don't want you to leave without doing this. At this meeting, you should decide what you're going to do with your tax rate. Look at the budgets that she's prepared, and typically what you would do at this meeting after you decide, you would instruct me to advertise that the proposed budget is available for public inspection. I'll put a notice in the paper. That's prior to the December meeting. So.
And I think everybody has a copy of the budget. Okay. And it is a little later in our, but that's right for me.
Okay. I just didn't want anyone to let that pass,
Right.
because I need to do that ad, and I want to make sure that got done. And that's all I have tonight.
Okay. Engineer?
Yeah, as Paul was indicating there, I did received this, looked over it. I don't really have any issues with it. As I told him, the fee schedule that's in there basically follows PennDOT's, their same schedule. But I am going to update some of the drawings to get them up to where we need to be with them, and we'll go from there. The other thing, we mentioned Fifth Street and ongoing there, and we'll get with Mr. Drum after he's finished with that and get the curbing put in that we also authorize. Make sure we, especially with Jim, and get that all taken care of where we need it to try to alleviate some of these issues with the drainage. I also contacted R.D. Smith about a dye test up there, 182 Lake Hawk. It's a lateral going back to 184 and 80, I think it's 803.8. He was tied up, but we're going to try and get this done next week. I told him, give me at least 24 hours notice so I can coordinate with you, because we will need water. He said that's one thing he would need, would be the water. So he said you get the fire department to come down and get water, and to make sure that we, someone's available, myself or someone can be there to verify the dye test. And then the other thing which we touched on were grants. I did review some of the grants that came in that correspondence from Mattsy's office. And there's others out there too, but most of those, the big ones are DCED ones. You can't apply for those, but almost all of them, well, all of them that I've seen have a match to them, 20% to 50%. They do, most of them require you, when you submit your application, to have at least preliminary drawings to show them. And then if you get the grant, then you have to finalize and get it done. But I know there's a couple other municipalities where we've done them, they've gotten the grant, and since there's that 20% match. But here for you folks, and we're actually doing one in Calvary Borough, actually up there in Butler County. They've received one for drainage. So the money's out there, but if you don't apply, you're not going to get it.
Right.
Most of them, there's like a $100 application fee. So, it's up to you, but to me, that's the place you need to start, is with your drainage before. I mean, the roads we definitely need to do also, but we need, I don't want to go in and repave streets and then next thing you know, we're coming in and ripping back up to put in storm sewers.
Right.
So I think, and it's up to you folks, but we need to get a plan together where we need to go and start with the drainage. Obviously, my recommendation would be anything that's collapsed, we're going to take care of, but we need to start at the low end and work our way up to make sure that everything's taken care of. Everything down below can handle it, because if we start resizing pipes up above, now it's taking more water, we're going to create flooding down below. But I'd say that's up to you. If you want to apply for one, we can definitely hone in on one. Most of them, the ones that for this year are done, they're being handed out. But that application, some of them are in February, some of them are in March, in that time frame. But I can come back with something next month if you wish and say this is the one I think we need to go for. And if you want to, we can, I can work with you folks to do it. It's all, most of them are all online, so I can work with the secretary or whomever. That's how we did it in another municipality. The secretary did it, and she'd give me access to it. I'd go in and review it and make changes to it or whatever, and say this is what you need to put in, however, and go from there. But again,
Yeah, I think that's a
Yeah.
good start.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you need a motion?
Do you need a
I
motion?
think probably to authorize us to at least look into the application, come back, well, I don't know if you need it for that.
No.
Come back with a
Yeah.
recommendation, but
Okay.
if you authorize us to move forward with one and do the engineering, then you would need that motion. So,
Okay.
as far as
I
next
think
month,
that's
I
a
can
good
come back
start.
and say, this is the one I think you need to go for, here's when the deadline's due, and then if you can authorize us to move forward on making drawings or getting that put together. And it doesn't have to be perfect when you put it in, it's just, this is our plan.
Okay,
And
that
then you
makes
have to put
sense.
together a cost estimate and all that stuff.
I think that's a good start.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's a good start.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, John.
Did we need a motion or
No.
not?
No,
He's
no.
saying, 'cause
Okay.
he-
Only if
yeah.
you're gonna authorize me to
Okay.
do that other work.
Anything else?
Yeah, that's all I have.
I have the Fifth Street project, but we already kind of discussed that. And then recreation, we've all discussed this, the little Rams, they really haven't cleaned up from what Sam's told me. So, I think you were gonna contact them.
Well, I wanted to see what you guys said. The problem is, she called me, said, we're done with the field. I said, you need to clean it up to our satisfaction and return the keys. And then if we're satisfied, you'll get your $100 deposit back. I called her and I said, my guy said there's garbage down there. She says, we're gonna clean it up. Sam said there's still garbage down there. Their sleds are in the middle of the field.
Didn't they leave those in there a couple of years ago?
Yeah. and that's
Last
what we
year
had
they
issues
left the
this year.
sleds,
Do
but
we want them to remove the sleds?
Absolutely.
Well, until it meets our satisfaction, they don't get back their $100.
and then the sink, he said is off the wall, but I don't know how that got off the wall.
That's been off the wall for years.
Oh.
That's in the ladies' room.
That's the same, I thought so.
Sam said that's an easy, he can fix that, huh?
What's that?
The wall, the sink, how it's off the
Oh,
wall.
yeah.
He's just gotta buy some stuff.
So Sam's gonna fix
Yeah.
that. And then the girls' softball equipment is still down there. We've
Yep.
tried to contact people, nobody wants it. But somebody does want it if we wanna donate it to them.
I tried calling Eddie Lyons and they never returned my call, so.
Freedom's little girls' softball said they'll take it if we have all that stuff.
All right,
Yeah,
give it to them.
give it to them. See you, bye.
Cause it's just gonna rot.
Yeah.
Yeah, if
Right.
it's just sitting over there and we've tried multiple times. They said they don't have a little girls league anymore.
Mhm.
Yeah, give it to Freedom.
Okay.
Rays went back to Rabs. I mean, I don't know what their age group is, so.
Question on that, is Freedom going to pick it up? Will
Well,
they,
Sam has
Sam
contact.
knew the contact person.
He knows, and
no, I'm just asking, are they going to remove it, or do we have to supply transportation for it? To get the stuff up to Freedom?
Well, yeah, I can take it out, so it's no big deal.
Okay, just, oh, that's right, you have a trailer.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure we sent them an email, no response.
it's just a bag of bats.
It's been
and catcher's
years.
equipment.
Yeah,
It's nothing. He can
just
throw it
stuff.
back in his pickup.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even know,
Or
some of it may be
bird truck,
starting to
whatever.
get bad already.
They really should check it because a lot of the bats crack and they're no good, so.
And then the fence behind, the fence in the back by the creek, like washed it out.
Third base
You
line.
would have walked
Is that
away
what
from
Jeremy's
it.
speaking of?
Fence on it.
Yeah.
It's on the other side.
Yeah, that's normal.
Is there back, can we just backfill that?
That just washes out, the creek gets so much water in it, it just washes it out. It does it every so often. We've had the last 2 years of so much rain that
Yeah.
that creek gets high.
And then, now we're on the budget. So, there's copies in the folder, everybody's had a chance to look at that.
Paul, should we go to executive session?
Or can we can just say that it's okay to post it.
Well, I mean, what you have is that generally here you have two drafts, which is normally what you do every year, is you look at, your current millage is 22 mills, that's where you're at. So this draft here shows a budget laid out within those parameters. And then the Borough Secretary is also prepared, just by way of comparison, a 23 mil budget, which would be a 1 mil increase. And go through and look and see where that is and see if that's necessary or see where that would put you. And it's council that has to decide on this budget and decide what you want to do, what makes things work here. And once you pick something, give the secretary guidance as to what draft or how you want to do it, which if either one is okay, or if you want to do something different, whatever. But I really think you should talk it out and get it done so that when we leave here tonight, we have that plan in place, and you tell her which one you're going to adopt as a proposed budget, and we'll put an ad that will be available for public inspection, and then moving forward to ultimately being passed in December.
Can I say something?
Sure.
I mean, I did want to get greedy, but I've been thinking since then, do we want to go another mill just to have a cushion? I mean, but we have to explain to the residents
Right.
why we're increasing the taxes.
Right.
Thank you, yes, I was thinking the
You
same
gotta show
thing.
what you're using that money for.
Yeah,
You
I
can't-
exactly.
don't know, and my wife's gonna kill me when I tell her
Yeah.
we're raising taxes.
That's the only thing I meant. If we want to have a cushion to buy a truck or
Yeah, and
the
that's,
street,
we need something to start building towards a truck.
So you're saying you could prepare a budget with another mill?
Oh,
Give
yeah.
us an idea what it would look like.
oh yeah.
Do we have enough time to look over that? But we'd have to make a decision next meeting.
Yes.
We have to make
All
a decision
same.
before that, don't we?
Well, yeah, I mean, we've run into this in the past, and we kind of had got to the point where we were in a routine of, we're having this discussion in October and whittling it down, and then coming in here and saying, okay, definitely this, and we're a little behind this year. But that happens. If everyone has looked at this, I mean, I think the important thing, again, I'm not part of this process here, other than, it's on you. I can only make a recommendation to you that you look at the budget, which you have right now, and if you see that, you're deficient in areas, you're not gonna have enough to do what you need, you're not gonna have enough to meet expenses, then it's necessary to take an increase, or unless you can make cuts. But I think you've been pretty lean here over the years. So I mean, I would much rather the discussion be with the council here as far as how you feel about what you have in front of you, and look at those numbers and see where you need to be.
Does anybody know the last time taxes were raised?
It's been a long
That's what I'm
time.
thinking.
It's been yeah.
I worry more, I mean, I know we need may need a truck or whatever, but,
I mean, one mill is only
fixing
giving
the
us an
roads
extra
and-
$7,000.
Yeah, I'm like fixing the roads and, one mill's not gonna do that, fix all the roads.
No. No.
Throw me under the bus and say
I
raise it
mean, I
up 2
don't know
mils.
where we could cut either. I mean, have you?
Yeah, I don't think.
I did cut some things based on, that's why I gave you guys the profit and loss spreadsheet. You could see where we're up and down.
Right,
Right.
I did cut some things. Our assessed value went up like $12 since last year. I mean, we've had a good year with a lot of properties getting sold, but you can't count on that all the time. We had a little windfall with the plaza getting sold, but
Mm.
that'll
Yeah, that's
carry
all
us
after
through
one time
till
start,
March.
Well, we are looking at cutting maintenance on the truck.
Well, that's for now. The outdoor advertising permit, we could raise up a little bit,
We could raise that, yes.
because what are they gonna do? Their billboards are here.
They have to pay it.
They have to pay it. I mean, I'm not saying we have to kill them, but we could raise that. The street opening,
Well, that'll go up.
yeah.
So
And building permits,
what do you guys think? Keep it the same or raise it?
I mean, the only thing I want to throw in on these permits and permit fees here is that, I know Randy Morrow, I had told him several times, as you're going through, I know you just started this year, but as you're going through using or getting experience in how many of these permits of a certain type you issue, taking a look at the whole system in place here, some things are antiquated and need to be increased. Collect, rather than do it piecemeal though, take some time and go through it and make a recommendation back to council, and then you do the permit. Maybe you do a resolution amending various permit fees that seem to be less than adequate. The idea though on most of these permits, and that is that it's not generally a money maker. It is, the permit fee is generally to offset your administrative cost in providing that service or that inspection or whatever. It's not, I wouldn't look at permit fees as a revenue source.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, example, you said the fee, like I know he went down to 156, so he had several trips down there, so you have that cover his cost of going down there.
Mostly, I would tell you what I told him was keep track of what you're doing, see which ones you're using the most, and come back with then an educated response to the council and say, look, this is what I experienced in the last 6 months or last year. You should really look at these 2 or 3 things, or.
Yeah. I have no problem raising it up to 23 mil, raising it up that one. I mean, we're gonna have to.
Do you have a problem with this? He doesn't know. Regular one would give 50 cents. And this I just figured out what it would be a ton and a half of their new rate. So it would increase this a year. That'll be the increase a year.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to discuss.
Okay, I didn't do anything for me.
Okay.
I only did.
So Kendra, what do you think? What were you saying, Joey, that was a little more creative?
Raise the outdoor advertising signs,
I mean,
permits.
what would that increase it by?
Well, it depends if we have to decide what you want to go by.
Right. You've got 425 here. You don't want to push it to like,
I mean, they're charged for their billboards, and if I recall, there's 17 billboards, is what Lamar has.
So it's the same person that owns all of them?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Not to sound ignorant, but the lighted billboard probably should, I don't know if that should cost more per permit. I don't know. You know,
I have an idea what the.
I said they had 7.
I'm sorry.
I have an idea what they think on
Okay.
that, or I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, might I suggest that this is probably not the time to be
Right.
Sorting out where we're putting these individual fees. I mean, you have a couple things in front of you here. I'm not saying don't look at those things down the road, but
Maybe not.
the budget process needs to start earlier, and you'll get in the swing of things here as you go as a group. But when you have those discussions in July, August, and September, you're able to put that all into where you're putting your proposed budget together. It's a little difficult to do it at this point here, I would suggest to you that out of what you have ahead of you, if you're looking and you have some things coming up, it might be beneficial to go with your 23 mills that you already have laid out, and you can go look at this thing and go through it now and take a look if that's adequate for you. Or the option here, go another year with the things the same, but I'm
I
not
agree, I
involved in
think
that.
hashing it out should have probably started in
Right.
July. Right. So,
For the 23 mils.
This isn't
I'm
whole.
good with that.
I mean, you could do this or this, but
Yeah.
I don't think you really should have done all this other stuff sooner.
I do, yeah, I see that.
We were just discussing go for 23 mil. Raise it up 1 mil.
We're gonna get crap.
Oh, I know. Oh, I
It ain't no
know.
mill, ain't nothing.
Mill's
Yeah,
nothing.
no.
That's
Yeah,
not
it's
gonna
not.
affect them.
It's not.
It might
not.
be,
It's-
they'll be lucky if it's $25 on their extra taxes like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be nothing.
Let's go with this.
Who's making a
post-
motion?
Yeah.
I'll make the motion.
So I'll second it.
All right, roll call.
Kathy,
Yes,
Joe,
Yes.
Kendra,
Yes.
we're all dead.
So
families
to
are
be
quick.
clear, that there was a
I'm going
motion
to pay
to
taxes on my
advertise,
house, so-
motion to advertise a
Here.
proposed budget at 23 mills.
Okay,
That's,
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
okay.
sounds good, sounds lawyer-like. All right, so we're almost done. And next year, remind us to start a little earlier on that.
well, that's not on my fault. I took this over because you know what happened.
Well, yeah.
Need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All right. I think
Second.
everybody agrees.
Yes, you can use the gavel.